Are you a motherless daughter? What if we told you we have 20 years worth of truth treasures, pearls of wisdom, and diamonds of hope to help you with your mother loss? We do, and we share all things mother loss on Nurturing Words, Voices of Experience, a podcast by the Motherless Daughters Ministry. Give yourself some self-care and listen as we discuss grief, regret, anger, redemption, closure, and so much more.
Meeting where you want to meet. At Motherless Daughters Ministry, we make it easy to connect with other women who understand your loss experience. Whether you have experienced loss by death or emotional absence, you can hear nurturing words of experience in our podcast. Stay connected and supported with our weekly email and Monday support groups. Looking for individual coaching with a supportive Christian guide? A free 15-minute coaching consultation may be where to start. We help motherless daughters explore how mother loss has shaped their lives. Education equals empowerment. Empowerment contributes to emotional health. Visit our website at motherlessdaughtersministry.com to learn more.
Hello, I'm Gladys Bell, your host for today. In this episode, we are sharing Maya Meggido's story about learning healthier ways to navigate relational conflict. Conflict is something that happens from time to time in all relationships. How conflict resolution was modeled for us can have a huge impact on how we handle it, even as adults. Unhealthy relationship dynamics can be a powerful cycle that is difficult to break. Many motherless daughters, especially those through emotional absence from their mothers, can relate to this. Then before we leave you for today, our podcast administrator, Sarah Lynn Wells, went oyster diving to share some pearls about this topic.
Did you grow up in a home with an emotionally absent or narcissistic mother? If so, it's probably safe to say that the atmosphere and family dynamics weren't the healthiest. As an adult, one of the challenges I find myself facing is the continuous process of learning what a healthy relationship looks like. With that comes the unlearning of old mindsets, old ways of doing things, and courageously walking through new territory. I was raised to believe that good things don't last, that it was my job to save those around me, to take care of everyone and everything, but not myself. I learned to hide when I felt rejection, hide when I got hurt, and to always sit in a place close to where the exits were. When life is about survival, it's almost like sending out an invitation for trouble to come. You're either wearing your battle gear or your running shoes. Energy is exhausted on just making it through, instead of enjoying the gifts that are waiting for me, even in the valley. The things that were modeled to me by my mom reinforced a fierce independence and attachment issues that brought chaos into every crevice of my life. I rejected what was safe and beautiful while running toward the very pain I was dying to escape. And why? Because it was what I knew. It was familiar. I stayed up late night processing what once was and what is now, knowing that my life as an adult doesn't have to pattern the days of my youth. Each day I have that choice, the choice to walk a different path than what was shown to me. In recent weeks, one of the most powerful things I've learned is that in relationships, we get to have misunderstanding. We get to have struggle and conflict. I've learned that these aren't bad things because on the other side of them sits intimacy. The opportunity to have hard conversations is a gift and the birthing ground for deeper levels of connection. In Judaism, there's a phrase called tikkun olam, which means repair of the world. When trials ambush the moment, a tikkun, a divine repair, happens when we bravely choose to partner with what God wants to do through that conflict instead of getting swallowed in the conflict itself. In grief, it looks like boldly walking through the pain, not hiding from it. In relationships, it looks like setting healthy boundaries, actively engaging in self-care, and walking out vulnerability with those that God has brought into our lives. I believe this paradigm shift in how pain and conflict is approached is one of the ways that we begin the process of releasing dysfunctional patterns and embracing something really beautiful. It's where freedom is, freedom to thrive and be authentic. What relational patterns were modeled to you as a child that you want to break off of your life? What would it look like to take your eyes off the conflict itself and partner with God in the midst of relational conflict? Is there a divine repair that you can see unfolding in your life? Something you feel resistance towards, and yet know in your spirit that it's something that God is trying to use to bring healing. Joel 2:25 through 26 says, I will restore to you the years that the locust, the swarming locust, the cankerworm, and the caterpillar have eaten. You will surely eat and be satisfied, and praise the name of Adonai, your God, who has dealt wondrously with you.
We're going to take a short break to tell you about a resource, and then we'll get right back to the podcast.
Mother loss is a lifelong grief journey. The scars go deep and the pain is relentless. It affects every aspect of a woman's being, regardless of age of loss or how the loss occurred. The hole is deep and filled with many emotions. You are invited to our online support community with the Motherless Daughters Ministry online support groups, focusing on the journey and the difficult obstacles that get in the way of healing. To learn more about our weekly support group offerings, visit us online at motherlessdaughtersministry.com.
Now, before we leave you, allow me to share some thoughts from our podcast administrator, Sarah Lynn Wells. The experiences and emotional atmosphere in our home growing up has such an influence on our relational skills in adulthood. You may have heard of attachment theory. It's a psychological theory which looks at the relationships between people. At a young age, children need to develop a relationship with at least one caregiver. This relationship can have a huge impact on their development of social and emotional functioning. A secure attachment tends to lead to healthier emotional social skill development that helps a person foster healthy relationships. If someone does not experience secure attachment, though, it has a significant impact on their brain development, mental health, and future relationships. There are different types of insecure attachment and a wide range of ways this can affect someone in adulthood. We have linked a podcast episode from Mel Robbins that has a good explanation of attachment styles and the different types. It's important to remember, while our attachment and struggles in childhood have had an impact on our lives, we can decide how they continue to affect us. Once we have a better understanding of the effects of an emotionally absent or narcissistic mother, the more we can empower ourselves with knowledge and skills to grow. I love how Maya details this in her story. She had her own experiences and struggles from childhood, but those do not have to continue to define her. She can learn and gain new relational skills and perspectives to help her improve and have healthier relationships moving forward. If you are a motherless daughter struggling from emotional abandonment or narcissism in your childhood, especially from your mother, you are not alone. We have a community of women who have been there and are continuing their healing journey, just like Maya. Check out our show notes for more information about monthly support groups that might help you on your journey.
Thank you for joining us here at Motherless Daughters Ministry. If you need more nurturing words, we encourage you to have a listen to other episodes of this podcast. Don't forget to hit the subscribe or follow button so you can join us again next time.